The most important thing to remember in this video is this. Ensure you have the visa office requirements for applicants in your country. Do not forget this part. Let's quickly dive in. So the first thing you do is you go on your web browser and you type in cic.gc.ca or canada.ca and you choose English. Go to menu. Under immigration and citizenship, you choose work. Once that opens up, scroll down to get a work permit and you click on that. And then under services and information, click on temporary workers. And here you can read about types of work permit if you want, but let's go straight to apply for a work permit. Here we go straight to how to apply. The beauty of this format is instead of you trying to figure everything by yourself, it breaks it down for you when you answer the eligibility questions and get your own personal checklist. Where are you applying from? Outside of Canada. To get the forms you need, tell us how you're applying and where you're applying for. So we click on this and then we scroll all the way down. How are you applying? It says online recommended. So we're going to apply online. Here you're going to choose your country. So I am going to choose Nigeria. Now, based on the last point I made in the PowerPoint presentation, visa office requirements for applicants in Nigeria. So you need to open this PDF form on a separate page because that information there is going to be the requirements, the visa office requirements for applicants in your own country, depending on your specific country. This is what it's going to look like. This is work permit, Lagos visa office instructions. This is for applicants in Nigeria. Let's get back to the application process. Now, the next thing you do is you click to sign in. If you haven't registered, you register and create an account. If you have created an account already, you sign in with your GC key or you sign in with the sign-in partner on the right-hand side. Let's sign in with the GC key here. Once you sign in, your page is going to look like this. If you submit an application, it's going to show on below here where my arrow is pointing. And if you have an application that you haven't submitted, it's going to show down here. And the next thing to do is start an application. Go below where it says determine your eligibility and apply online. Remember, this is going to be a personal checklist for you. It's going to be different for everybody, but I'm going to explain this in a way that it's going to make sense for anyone hoping to apply for open work permit, specific work permit, or even a postgraduate work permit. So here it's going to ask you, what would you like to do in Canada? We choose work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? We're going to choose temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. Here you're going to select your country. Then what is your current country/territory of residence? If you are presently in Canada, you should choose Canada. This is an application outside of Canada, so you are going to put your country as well. Here, if you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, you choose that, yes or no. Here, you're going to choose the date you were born, select your month, and we keep going. Next. If you're a permanent resident of the United States with a valid US citizenship and immigration services number, you select that. If it's a no, you choose no and you keep going. So for this point right here, if you have a job, you're going to choose this. This is going to be for specific job offers for people who are going to apply under a specific job offer. Also, this can also fit in for someone who can come into Canada without a work permit, but at this point in time, they're going to only need a temporary resident visa. If you choose yes under this point, but if you choose yes and click next, here, once you click this point, you're going to choose temporarily at least 1 year and next. Here, if you choose anything, if your particular position or category falls under this point and you choose yes, you're going to come into Canada for a temporary resident visa known as a visitor visa. You are not going to need a work permit, right? But if it's a no for you, then you choose no. Will you be coming to Canada under an active policy? This is something that came out when they were trying to extend some people who finished whose work permit were expiring in Canada, and they just gave them like an 18 months visa or opportunity to extend rather their work permit. So because you're applying from outside of Canada, this is going to be a no for you. Are you a spouse, common law partner, or dependent child? So for this part now, if you answered no in the previous one and no here and a yes here, you are going to get an open work permit, because here you are applying as a spouse, common law partner, or a dependent child of someone who has a work permit or a study permit, just like I stated in the PowerPoint presentation. So here you're going to choose no, but if it's a yes for you, if this falls under for you, you choose that because you're going to get an open work permit. But for this particular application, I am choosing yes. I'm going to choose no and choose yes because I am applying as someone who has a particular job offer which falls under the specific work permit. I hope that makes sense. So here it's going to be a no because I'm applying from outside of Canada. But if you're applying for a postgraduate work permit and you left Canada and you're in your home country, if you answered no in all of that, and then here you're going to choose yes, and you're going to instead get an application for a postgraduate work permit. Let's keep going. Next. Here I am going to choose, you choose your marital status, single or married. And here you choose the province where you will be going to. Based on my result, it is telling me that I am eligible to come to Canada as a foreign worker. So the next thing I'm going to do is what? Hit continue. Continue. Do you have a valid work permit or study permit and need a visa to return to Canada? I would say no. What type of work permit do you want to apply for? I would say for this one here, now you're going to choose based on the answers you provided. If you're applying for a postgraduate work permit, you choose this. If you're applying for a specific work permit, you're going to choose this. If you're applying for another specific work permit, a work permit for an intra-company transferee, you're going to choose this. So for this one right now, I am going to choose a work permit with a labor market impact assessment exemption. I think there should be another one with a work permit labor market impact assessment. Let me see. Yes, a work permit with a labor market impact assessment. So I'll choose that, which is a specific work permit. Next. Did your employer or social development issue you? I would say yes, they did. Next. Does your labor market impact assessment indicate that you must become a member of a professional? I would say if it's a yes or no, you choose that. I'll say no. Let's keep going. All these things is just trying to create your specific document checklist. Are you accompanying a family member? I would say no. Have you committed or been arrested for a criminal offense in any country? Depending on your answer, yes or no, you choose that. Next. Have you had any medical exam performed in the last 12 months? If you have, you choose yes. If you haven't, you choose no. Depending on your country, you might still need a medical exam. Next. Have you visited or lived in any one of the designated countries for 6 consecutive months in a year? This might be a little bit confusing, so I pull this out here. If you click on this, see a list of designated countries. So I pull that out. So in here, depending on the countries, Afghanistan is telling you that you're going to need a medical exam. So depending on the country where you're applying from, if you type in your country, for example, I'm applying from Nigeria, it's telling me that I'm going to need a medical exam performed. I'm also going to leave this link in the description area so that it will be easy for you guys to use. So I would say yes. Next. So it's telling me based on your answers, you need to get a medical exam performed by an authorized doctor. So let's keep going. It says you may continue with your application. We will contact you if you need a medical exam. Next. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? I would say no. Next. Are you giving someone's access to your application? I would say no. Next. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints and photo biometrics for an application to come to Canada? If you have, you say yes. If you haven't, you say no. Next. There are fees associated with your application. Will you be paying your fees? I will say yes, I will be paying my fees. Next. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents? I would say yes. Next. Will you be paying your application fees online? I would say yes. Continue. Now you have the time, or you have this option to click on this to review your answers. If you made a mistake, once you review your answers or you think everything you provided is correct, you hit on continue. Then it's going to tell you what to do. Step 1, use your account, save your application, upload your documents, and all those good things. And you hit on what? Continue. So like I said, this is your personal checklist. Because this is going to be required, this is an application for a work permit outside of Canada. I will walk you guys through on how to fill out this application. But whoever is watching this video, your own application or your document checklist, your requirements might be different. Based on the answers I provided during my eligibility questions and answers, these are all the documents I'll be providing. I'll just show you guys an example of this form here and this family information form, a sample. So once you download your document, this is an application for work permit made outside of Canada. Your UCI, if it's the first time you're applying, you leave this blank. If not, you look at your work permit or your study permit, you're going to get your UCI there and you put this number. If you're unsure, just leave it blank. I want service in English or French, you choose that. Here, you're going to provide your full names the way it is shown on your passport or your travel documents. If you have an alternative name, you choose yes and provide that information here. If not, you leave it as no. You provide your sex, your date of birth, and where you were born, your country of territory, your citizenship, which is the country where you were born as well. Then current country of territory or territory of residence, which is where you were born, your status there. You provide all that information. So during the past 5 years, have you lived in any country? This is number 8, other than your country of citizenship. If it's a yes, you hit on this button and provide that information. If you haven't, you click no and leave it as it is. Then here, country or territory we're applying, same as current country of residence, you say yes. If not, you click on no and provide the information there. You provide number 10, your current marital status, And if you're in a common law relationship, you're going to put the date and provide that information below number 10. Then under your personal information, it's saying, have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? If it's a yes, information goes below. If no, click on that. Languages, your native language, and the way you are able to communicate. Your passport number, your country where it was issued, the expiring date and the issue date and the expiring date. If you have a national identity number, it goes in here. If you don't, if you have it, it goes in here. If you don't, you leave it as it is. If you have a US PR card, you indicate that. If no, click on no. Contact information, you provide your information. It is always good to read a little bit of this information that they are giving you here so that you don't miss out anything. I've read it and I use all this instruction to fill out these forms. Your city, country, and your postal code. If your residential address is the same as your mailing address, you choose yes. If not, you choose no and provide a different residential address. Number 3, you provide your phone number. You can provide an alternate telephone number if you have one, and a fax if you do. Provide your email, and now details of intended work in Canada. So number 1 here is super important. What type of work are you applying for? If you click on this drop button, now you have the options to apply for exemption from labor market impact assessment, labor market impact assessment stream, open work permit, order. If you choose order here, then that means you can provide your information if you're applying for a postgraduate work permit, and that is how you choose what you want. If you choose any information on here, because it's going to fall under specific work permit, you're going to provide the name of the employer, the address, and all this good information down to number 5. But if you are applying under an open work permit, like I said, then you do not provide this information because you are eligible to work for any employer in Canada. I hope that makes sense. So we go back to the way it was before. I think I chose labor when I was doing that. So number under education section, here you are going to provide your information on your study, your employment, and once you do that, you go down here and just answer all these few questions the way it fits you. And once you do that, you put your date. Because you're going to be applying online, you cannot sign it, or you can just put the name, signature of applicant. You can just put your name here. I think it's allowing you. You can just do that and you validate it. So this particular one is just a family information in case you're applying for an open work permit or you're applying for a postgraduate work permit. It might be slightly different, but this is just an idea on how you can fill that out. Use the strategy. If you get to this point, if you watch the entire process of this video, you can pause and see the format and use it to fill out your information. If you have kids, same thing, you provide that information. The point to remember is this point. It says, if no spouse or common law partner is listed in section A, this is section A, then read and sign below. So because I didn't provide a spouse or common law partner information, I had to put the date. Same with section B. If no children are listed in section B, read and sign below. Same process. You're going to do the same thing. And if you have brothers and sisters, use the same format. You provide that information there. Once you've done all of this, then you go back to your online application like I showed you guys, and upload all the other necessary documents that you're going to be needing, and you submit your application.